What's up, guys? Today we're going to be doing a really short video on function composition. And before we talk about function composition, we got to make sure we understand what function notation is and how it works. So let's take a simple linear function like f of x equals 2x plus 1. And let's suppose that we want to evaluate f of 3. And what we're saying here is we're going to take 3 and plug it in to f of x. So everywhere that we see an x in the function is going to be replaced with a 3. So f of 3 is 2 times 3 plus 1. Now, of course, we can work this out very easily using the order of operations. So we're going to multiply the 2 times the 3 and get 6. Still have the 1 out here. And then we do 6 plus 1, which is 7. Now, function composition works very similarly to this. So what we're going to do is instead of plugging a number into the function, we want to plug in a whole other function into this function. So let's make another function. Let's say we have g of x, and maybe g of x is, let's say, 3x minus 2. So what I want to do is I want to find f of g of x. In other words, the function f is taking g of x as its input. We are plugging g of x into the function f. So just like before, I'm going to rewrite the function, but wherever there is an x, I'm going to replace it with parentheses. I'm going to leave myself a little bit of space this time because I'm about to plug in something a lot bigger than just a number. So what I'm going to plug in for x is g of x, and g of x is 3x minus 2. So that's what goes in the parentheses. Now again, like before, I'm going to work this out using the order of operations. So I'm going to distribute the 2. 2 times 3x is 6x. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. And I still have my plus 1 out there. And then one more step. I'm going to do negative 4 plus 1, which is negative 3. Okay, so that's function composition. I plugged g of x into the function f. In other words, we found f of g of x. Sometimes people write it this way. F composed of function g. So this is still the same thing. If you see this notation, that still just means f of g of x. Now, what if we did this in the other direction? What if I said g of f of x? Well, just like before, I'm going to start with my function g, because it's the outside function, and it's receiving f of x. G of x says 3 times x, which I'm replacing with parentheses. And instead of the x, I'm going to plug in the whole function f of x, which is 2x plus 1. Now when I work this out, that gives me 6x plus 3 minus 2, which is 6x plus 1. Notice that we did not get the same thing. F of g of x is not the same thing as g of f of x. So the order that you do the functions matters. When you plug something into a function and then plug that into another function, the order may matter depending on what the function is.